What do you mean you don't know what's wrong with her? We've been to 3 other doctors and you can't fix it. This is ridiculous. My wife doesn't have the energy to get through the day and you can't fix it. We've been doing everything you've asked us to do.
This is Julie. Julie has type 2 diabetes, and she's also been suffering with varying energy issues for years. What you just heard was her husband expressing his frustrations at a doctor because they've been to a number of different doctors and none of them can figure out how to help her get back to living a normal life.
This is wearing on me. I want to help her, but I can't do it all. It's not easy.
Julie was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about 5 years ago at the age of 46. Close to 30 million people in the U.S. alone have diabetes, and it's estimated that over 25% also struggle with energy issues.
I just want to feel normal again. Some days I wake up in the morning and I just don't want to get out of bed. My brain and my body, they just don't want to work together at all. And I can't think clearly. They've run a ton of tests on me, and besides the diabetes, supposedly I'm fine.
Within the last 2 years, Julie has been having difficulty just getting through the day because she is exhausted. Not only does she have the stress of living with diabetes and the difficulties that come along with meticulously managing her blood sugars, but now she also has to deal with ongoing energy issues on top of it.
I'm just tired. The worst part is that I can never predict what day or part of the day that I'm going to have some energy to be able to do the things I need to do each day. It's so frustrating.
Her family has been to several doctors in the area and they seem to have tried everything, but now they're running out of patience.
We've done everything the doctors have told us to do. We've gotten her vitamin B injections, modified her diet, even took her off of certain medications because the doctor says they can cause fatigue. Still, nothing has worked. Now, I have to handle the majority of our family's regular chores, plus I still have my work to do.
We've been to a ton of different doctors and they all say the same thing. You need to lose weight. You need to exercise. I have lost weight. And whenever I try to exercise, it just gets worse. I don't know what to do anymore.
There seems to be a bigger problem here. Could all of these doctors be missing something? Is there a better way to help these people that are suffering with suboptimal or lower energy issues common in diabetes?
There is a bigger problem here. Millions of Americans are suffering with diabetes, and for most, their energy levels are just not right. Like Julie, many have attempted to resolve these suboptimal energy issues, but the issues persist. You're not alone. Stick with us as we help you uncover the real reasons why your energy levels may not be where you want them to be. Most importantly, we'll show you what you can do to fix the problem and feel normal once again.
Hello, my name is Dr. Ryan Bradley. Almost every one of my patients with diabetes suffers from low energy. They don't always describe it as fatigue. Sometimes patients describe it as just feeling kind of yucky, or feeling like there's something that's keeping them from feeling as good as they could feel. Many patients that have come to me in the past share that they have either been blown off by their primary doctor or possibly led down a dead end that included many more medications with side effects and often limited results. These medications only mask the real root cause of the problem and never really address the core issue.
Because I know what diabetes can do to energy levels, I urge you to watch this video in its entirety. You might be doing things right now that are contributing to your suboptimal energy levels, and if not addressed, these issues can have severe, long-term consequences.
In this presentation, my team and I are going to help you understand the most overlooked cause of energy issues in people with diabetes and prediabetes, and, more importantly, what you can do about it. We will also reveal 2 more of the most overlooked reasons why your energy feels like it's being sapped from your body. I'm a naturopathic physician, a researcher and scientist, an educator, and an expert in helping people better manage their diabetes. Diabetes research and clinical practice have been at the core of my career for the last 15 years. I'm also the chief scientist at Diabetes Naturally. The primary focus of my career has revolved around helping people restore their health and reduce their dependency on prescription medications and surgery. In landmark research studies, I've completed clinical trials and observational research on practice outcomes from natural products, as well as from integrating naturopathic medicine and conventional primary care for treating type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. I've been published in leading peer-reviewed medical journals, including Diabetes Care, Atherosclerosis, the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, and several more. I've run a telemedicine practice focused on integrative treatments for diabetes, heart disease, and chronic kidney disease. For 8 years, I was the founding director of the Center for Diabetes and Cardiovascular Wellness at Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. I work for organizations where I receive grants to learn how different natural products and dietary supplements interact with diabetes medications and impact risk factors in diabetes. I'm often asked to speak at national and international conventions related to diabetes. I've been asked to speak for organizations like the American Diabetes Association, the European Association for the Study of Diabetes, the International Diabetes Federation, Scripps Center for Integrative Medicine, and the International Congress on Integrative Health and Medicine. I am also co-author of the Food User Manual with my colleague, dietitian Sonia Max. The Food User Manual is a patient education resource that helps people make quality dietary choices. The manual is currently being used at Boston University Medical Center. I've had a number of articles published related to diabetes management and the use of natural medicine and integrative care for diabetes management. I've also been published in medical publications. My entire career has revolved around helping people with diabetes in one capacity or another.
We are so grateful to have Dr. Bradley on our team as Chief Scientist. Our presentation today, put together with the guidance of Dr. Ryan Bradley, is designed to help you uncover potential causes of your suboptimal energy levels. There are primary causes that often get overlooked, and we'll reveal those to you today. Do you see this image? Most people don't know what it is, yet this structure plays a vital role in creating energy at the cellular level. Unfortunately, it's often found to be dysfunctional or damaged in people living with diabetes. But don't worry. Later in this presentation, we'll explain what it is and how to make sure it's not destroying your energy levels. In this presentation, we'll uncover the #1 most overlooked cause of suboptimal energy levels in diabetes, and how traditional doctors almost always overlook this problem. By watching this presentation, we may finally help you get to the root of your energy issues. We'll also disclose the top 3 energy-depleting and toxic ingredients that you could be unknowingly consuming daily. But I have to warn you, you may not be happy when we share this list with you because, well, these ingredients are found in the most common foods. And number 2 on this list may really upset you because through deceptive marketing practices, you are being suckered into thinking that this ingredient is actually good for you. Yet recent studies show this so-called safe alternative is actually harming your blood sugars and making you gain weight. What's even worse is that it's being endorsed by organizations whose sole existence is to help you.
I've been in practice for close to 18 years. Energy issues with my patients has been a major problem. I would say that it's the second biggest problem people come to me for. The #1 reason is, of course, to lower their blood sugar. But even after examining and reviewing their history, they come to realize that these 2 issues, low energy and blood sugar, are intimately intertwined. In my years of practice, I've had many patients like Julie, who you saw earlier in this presentation, that would come to me complaining of issues regarding low energy. And if you are suffering from energy issues, you're not alone. In fact, sadly, it's the third most common symptom in individuals with type 2 diabetes, just after acute pain and chronic pain. Low energy is estimated to impact 25% of people with type 2 diabetes. I certainly have done my best to help many patients with their low energy levels and their fatigue. For many years, I was unable to help them the way I really wanted to because the solutions that were available were inefficient and sometimes ineffective. I knew there had to be a better way.
So, let's start off with the toxic food ingredients you should absolutely be avoiding at all costs. The first group of ingredients that you probably have every single day, but you absolutely need to stay away from, is refined carbohydrates. So, what are refined carbs? Refined carbohydrates are forms of sugars and starches that don't exist in nature. They come from natural whole foods, but they've been altered in some way by processing to refine them. This is so they can be prepared and sold more cheaply in the open market, and stored properly for longer commercial shelf life. Some big conglomerate is getting richer while Americans are getting sicker. Don't you find it odd that most refined carbs are genetically modified? And these genetically modified foods are already banned in over 26 countries? Yet America is not one of them? Foods differ in the type and amount of carbs they have, and these differences cause different responses in our body. The responses can be measured utilizing two calculations called the glycemic index and the glycemic load. A higher glycemic index or load indicates that a food produces higher levels of circulating blood glucose when consumed. Higher glycemic index foods are usually refined foods that contain more simple carbs instead of fiber-based carbs, which are the good carbs. Refined carbs cause post-meal sugar spikes every time we eat them. This sugar spike in our blood produces an excess of oxidative stress caused by compounds called free radicals. These free radicals chemically modify the tissues of our bodies and contribute to inflammation. Inflammation is terrible for diabetes and vice versa. People in an inflammatory state are also at 3 times greater risk of death compared to people who eat foods with a lower glycemic index, like whole grains. Eating foods in their whole, non-processed form helps you avoid these post-meal sugar rushes. They also help you receive more fiber, which produces an anti-inflammatory response. Foods that are likely to have refined carbs are most desserts, except fresh fruits, most cereals, except whole grain cereals, and most breads, chips, and granola bars. Foods low in refined carbs are fresh fruits and veggies, fresh unprocessed meats, unprocessed soy products, whole grains, unsweetened natural dairy products, and most unsweetened foods and beverages. Choosing unrefined carbs may decrease chronic inflammation and decrease your risk of developing and perpetuating your diabetes. When symptoms are worsened, guess what happens to your energy levels? You guessed it, they go down. The second food or ingredient, in this case group of ingredients, that you should stay away from are non-caloric artificial sweeteners. One of the biggest recommendations for people with diabetes is to go on a low-sugar diet. Non-caloric artificial sweeteners have become a popular way to get a sweet fix while limiting caloric intake. Note the word artificial in the name. These compounds do not occur in nature and are not supposed to be introduced into the body. Artificial sweeteners include saccharin, sucralose, or aspartame, and are commonly found in diet sodas, cereals, sugar-free desserts, and more foods you probably have every day. Right now, the manufacturers of these products are making a fortune, potentially at the expense of your health. They falsely claim that adding these sugar substitutes supports weight loss and glucose intolerance, when research is now showing otherwise. Unfair advertising campaigns for these artificial sweeteners target people with diabetes. Unfortunately, as demonstrated in a seminal study by Suez and colleagues, and recently published in the preeminent journal Nature, these sugar substitutes can be causing more harm than good. The problem, as the Nature study shows, artificial sweeteners are not digested and instead directly interact with our good gut microorganisms in our intestines, or our gut microbiota, as they're often called. Our gut microbiota play a critical role in supporting our metabolism and overall good health. These artificial sweeteners alter our microbiota and its function. Higher artificial sweetener consumption is actually making people fatter and causing higher fasting blood sugar and HbA1c levels. They're also impairing glucose tolerance instead of helping with diabetic symptoms. They can even cause blood sugar abnormalities. Can you believe these artificial sweeteners have actually been approved as safe alternatives for people living with diabetes? What's even more disturbing is that these artificial sweeteners are being endorsed by some diabetes organizations. These studies show the sweeteners may be contributing to a pro-inflammatory state, causing increased and perpetual feelings of fatigue and depression. I strongly urge you to read the labels on the foods you eat and what you drink to ensure they do not have any artificial sweeteners in it. Be aware that many energy drinks contain these artificial sweeteners, and while they may trick you into believing they're giving you a quick energy boost, in reality, it's simply not true. The third and final toxic ingredient is unique in that it's produced during the actual cooking process. It's called advanced glycation end products. Advanced glycation end products, or glycotoxins, are produced when reducing sugars react in our body with proteins, fats, or a specific type of acid in our living cells. This reaction can be referred to as the Maillard or Browning reaction. Glycotoxins can be formed during the cooking process, such as through grilling, broiling, frying, and toasting. Heating foods can actually increase glycotoxin formation 10 to 100-fold in comparison to eating foods in their uncooked state. Chronic high blood sugars can help promote the production of glycotoxins that occur in our body. In our bodies, glycotoxins bind to cell surfaces or cross-link with proteins in the body, therefore altering the structure and function of these cells and proteins. This outcome induces oxidative stress and an inflammatory process. They can contribute to vascular complications, frequently seen in diabetes as a result of chronic high blood sugar levels. This can cause coronary heart disease, stroke, blindness, and end-stage renal failure, which are all major risk factors in diabetes. To reduce glycotoxins, consume a high diet in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and milk. If cooking food, use moist heat. Reduce the cooking time. Use lower temperatures. And use acidic ingredients such as lemon juice or vinegar. Now, let me do my best to help you understand what all of this means. In a moment, I'll reveal the #1 most overlooked cause of suboptimal energy issues in diabetes. Soon after, you will see the connection.
For whatever reason, many traditional doctors overlook this as a primary issue for people with diabetes or even with prediabetes who are suffering with energy issues. It's not necessarily their fault. The majority of signs and symptoms of this issue are not generally visible unless specific tests are run. Because of that, in lieu of running a battery of experimental tests, many doctors are quick to prescribe medication that treat the symptoms, but that do not necessarily get to the real source of the problem. The medications often only mask the problem.
But first, you need to understand that individuals with type 2 diabetes are already more prone to suboptimal energy issues. These are some of the more common causes. Vitamin B deficiency, including B12, which can be caused by certain diabetes medications. Other medications like antidepressants, beta blockers, opioids, and statins. Poor diet, especially if you're consuming the 3 toxic ingredients discussed previously, or ongoing renal issues. And while all of these things can contribute to lower energy levels, the #1 most overlooked cause of suboptimal energy levels in diabetes is chronic low-grade inflammation. The word inflammation is tossed around a lot in the medical community, and it's garnering increasingly more attention due to its impact on disease. Yet, the average person doesn't truly know why it's so important or how it can impact their energy levels. Let us attempt to explain. Do you know that feeling you have when you're getting a cold or the flu? Your body feels sluggish, you're not thinking clearly, muscle cramps, and you want to sleep more. That cause is your immune system. We have two types of immunity response. Our first is our innate immunity, that which you were born with. The second type is called adaptive immunity. This evolves over time in response to different offenders. One of these main offenders in the case of diabetes is high blood sugar. When our innate immune system is activated, there's an inflammatory response in our body caused by what's called oxidative stress. Like an apple turns brown when it's exposed to air, our cells can rust when we breathe due to oxidative stress, a process caused by free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that damage or oxidize cells throughout the body in this process called oxidative stress. This causes inflammation in the body and damages internal tissue. In an effort to repair the damaged tissue, our body sends out messengers called acute phase reactants. These messengers are kind of like the guards for our castle, and that castle is the body. These guards are there to protect our body from unwanted invasions, from viruses and other toxins. These messengers or guards include compounds such as C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, and tumor necrosis factor. The immune system response, or inflammatory response, is initially helpful because it helps the body target and fight infection. The problem is that when these guards are present for an extended period of time, which is common in diabetes because of chronic elevated blood sugars, the rest of the body's functions start to shut down. This feeling that makes us want to rest is good in the short term, but when this shutting down process happens, it can cause symptoms such as severe loss of energy and changes in sleep and mood. And if the immune system is chronically activated, common with high blood sugars, these symptoms do not resolve themselves. This leads to life-altering, chronic, debilitating energy loss. These three messengers, or guards, bring about these symptoms of suboptimal energy in conditions like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, just as they would in physical trauma or infections. Essentially, your body is treating these conditions of high blood sugar, being overweight, and heart disease as if there's an infection in your body. In addition to feeling sluggish and sleep issues, it also promotes depressive symptoms, impaired brain function, and even increased pain sensitivity. Remember all the toxic food ingredients we spoke of earlier? If you're eating any of those foods, not only are you seeing a change in your blood sugars, but you're contributing to your inflammation risk. When your body is inflamed, your blood glucose levels rise. And when your blood glucose levels rise, it causes more inflammation. It's a double-edged sword. Now, it's possible to eat some of these toxic foods and not experience inflammation. However, if multiple conditions are present, such as stress, other toxins in the body, or the presence of other immunity stressors, your inflammation risk exponentially multiplies. There are a lot of long-term implications if you do not get inflammation under control, and we'll discuss these more in depth shortly. But if you're looking for ways to reduce inflammation naturally, the following is recommended. First off, avoid the foods that contain those toxic ingredients discussed earlier, especially if they cause your blood sugars to rise. Consume spices and natural herbs that have anti-inflammatory properties. Some examples include turmeric, rosemary, and ginger. Exercise is a catch-22. In the long run, exercise can reduce inflammation, but in the short run, it can actually make inflammation worse and make you feel more tired. Another way to reduce inflammation naturally is to get your stress under control. We know that stress can cause inflammation on its own. Stress is the second most overlooked cause of lower energy levels in diabetes. We'll talk about this more in depth shortly. The last thing is to ensure that you're getting enough quality sleep so your body can naturally heal itself, repair cells, and reduce levels of inflammation.
Unfortunately, people with diabetes do have a difficult time making changes in their lifestyle that would help them reduce their inflammation. Making choices for higher quality foods can often be expensive, and preparing high quality foods is very time consuming. Similarly, exercise is very helpful in helping to control inflammation. However, as many of you know, there are lots of barriers to getting more exercise. And then also in exercise, when inflammation is present, it can often take a very long time to recover from exercise. until the inflammation is toned down somewhat.
We know that constantly implementing these lifestyle strategies are easier said than done. Let's take stress as an example. Telling someone to stop being stressed is like asking someone to fly a B-52 stealth bomber plane without giving them training or the user manual. No matter what lifestyle recommendations are given by doctors, they are often very difficult to put into practice because of the amount of effort and the cost required to do so. It's like being set up for failure. Lose weight, buy healthy but expensive foods, go find the time to work out. Ha! Making these lifestyle changes are not impossible, but they are extremely difficult to do consistently. There are some people that are able to make these changes and stick to it, but for the vast majority of people, it's nearly impossible. Here happens to be a story of one of Dr. Bradley's courageous patients. He was actually able to implement Dr. Bradley's recommendations for improving energy levels. Not only did his energy levels improve dramatically, but there were a lot of other surprise benefits also.
I've had a lot of inspiring patients over the years. And one patient I remember in particular was a patient that came to see me back in Seattle about 10 years ago. His blood sugars were very high. He was starting to develop complications. He was also concerned about his risk for developing heart disease. He really felt quite terrible. He had been advised to add more and more medications to his prescription medication regimen. We spent a few visits with him. We used the food user manual to help get his diet back on track. We talked to him about some exercise goals. We brainstormed some activities he could do to help reduce his stress and maybe improve his sleep. And so I was happily surprised when about 6 months later, he came back to my clinic and his blood sugars were much lower. He had eliminated 2 of his medications. He'd lost about 20 pounds, and he was on his way to really fully recovering from his type 2 diabetes.
But for every inspiring patient that Dr. Bradley had, like his patient in Seattle, there were hundreds of other patients that were unable to make all of the recommended changes to improve their energy levels. It's not their fault either. They didn't ask to get diabetes. For many of them, it was just too difficult to eliminate refined carbs or exercise regularly. Or if they did try to exercise, they would often feel worse afterwards. And eliminating stress? Many of Dr. Bradley's patients would come to him baffled that their blood sugar levels were still so high. They would often say, "I don't get it. I only buy foods labeled sugar-free or low sugar," not knowing that these foods contained artificial sweeteners that were bad for them. Plus, healthy and natural foods are often more expensive, and quite frankly, most American households do not prioritize them as part of their monthly budget. Healthy foods should not be a rare commodity priced only for the elite. In talking with Dr. Bradley one day, I remember him sharing something really personal with me. He started reflecting on all his years in practice trying to help patients better manage their diabetes. He helped me understand what it was like to so badly want to help people and not quite get the results he wanted. He said, "Being a doctor, of course, I want to help everyone. That's why I got into the medical profession. I would often recommend well-researched lifestyle changes to my patients that I truly believed in. But inside, I would often feel frustration, even helplessness, because over time, I knew how difficult it was for my patients to sustain these changes. They often required a major change in lifelong behaviors. It also required a break from the social norm in terms of what foods to eat. Certainly, I observed many successes. My patients that successfully made the lifestyle changes had life-altering results. But most times I felt disappointed with the amount of people who could not fully carry out my suggestions. I knew they still needed help. It took me a while to accept that only a certain percent of my patients would be able to make the lifestyle changes I was recommending. And for those who didn't, it was not always their fault. Not everyone had the resources to buy better quality foods regularly. Not all of my patients had the time to exercise or the motivation. Many struggled with managing stress because stress isn't always under our control, no matter how hard we try. Being a natural health doctor, it would frustrate me when I had people come to me who were prescribed synthetic pharmaceuticals to improve their energy levels. I was shocked that doctors actually recommended these drugs, knowing that they come with the risk of severe long-term side effects and still don't address the root cause of their energy issues. These drugs are not natural and not meant to be in the body. Some of my patients would take supplements that targeted adrenal function. While adrenal dysfunction can contribute to lower energy levels, for people with diabetes, adrenal supplements can keep cortisol levels elevated, which further increases blood sugar levels and potentially aggravates inflammation. I would also see people using unsafe or highly processed energy drinks or energy foods, loaded with ingredients that just weren't good for them. Some folks overly relied on coffee as their energy enhancer. And while there are some studies that support the health effects of coffee, using it as a primary energy source does not address the core issue of their energy problems. I knew there had to be a better way. So, for Dr. Bradley, that was a major driving force for him in his mission to find a solution that almost all of his patients could easily implement and see the results they were looking for.
I knew there had to be a better way. It took years and years of research on my part, and then one day,
Dr. Bradley came to the realization that he could take everything he learned from all his years and years of research and all his years of seeing patients as a practicing doctor, helping people better manage their diabetes, and all his years as a scientist doing his own clinical trials, and combine all of that experience to create an effective solution that would best serve his patients. Something that would actually work, but also something that would be much easier to implement and sustain long term. Something that could improve energy levels without the damaging side effects of pharmaceutical-grade medications. With all of this experience in research, as a doctor and a scientist that works regularly between the medical and naturopathic worlds, he thought, what does the science tell us about natural therapies to help combat this issue of suboptimal energy in diabetes? Well, science tells us that nature actually has the answer. But is there a natural product out there that could help address these issues? The short answer is no, there really isn't. Not a natural product that was heavily influenced by the available clinical research, including the right ingredients and dosages that Dr. Bradley could be happy with. Something that could target the specific energy issue so common in his patients. He knew that the only way to best serve his clients was by creating his very own proprietary custom blend. So, Dr. Bradley started digging into his research and all of the work he's done over the last decade plus, searching for answers. He was able to take all of these experiences and tap into the knowledge he had doing painstaking research, witnessing changes in his own patients, and doing his own testing. He needed to find something that would really help his clients with diabetes and energy issues, and that was not an easy task. In looking for the right ingredients, Dr. Bradley needed a product that addressed the three most overlooked causes of suboptimal energy that could help his patients. We've already mentioned number one is inflammation. When inflammation is higher, blood sugars go higher. When blood sugars go higher, inflammation increases. Number two, Dr. Bradley wanted something that addressed the patient's stress response. There is real physical, emotional, and mental stress associated with trying to manage diabetes. The physical stress occurs because of chronic low-grade inflammation, the result of elevated blood sugars. When chronic or intense stress is present, our brain sends chemical messengers that cause the release of cortisol from our adrenals into our blood. This stress response is designed to give our muscles the fuel they need to run, known as fight or flight. Another important hormonal player in our stress response is cortisol. A primary action of cortisol is to help maintain our blood sugar in times of starvation or deprivation. Cortisol helps to maintain or can even increase our blood sugar by reducing our sensitivity to insulin. The more sugar stays in our bloodstream for our brain and heart to use, the less sugar gets into our muscles and other tissues. When inflammation is the result of elevated blood sugars, the effects of cortisol will only worsen long-term inflammation by reducing insulin sensitivity and further increasing blood sugar levels. Prolonged stress also alters the effectiveness of cortisol to regulate inflammatory response. Immune cells become insensitive to cortisol's regulatory effect. In turn, runaway inflammation is thought to promote the development and progression of many diseases. I know this is a lot of medical mumbo-jumbo, so if you can remember one point, remember this. Researchers have now found that chronic psychological stress is associated with the body losing its ability to regulate the inflammatory response. The research shows for the first time that the effects of psychological stress on the body's ability to regulate inflammation can promote the development and progression of disease. The third primary and most overlooked cause of suboptimal energy that Dr. Bradley felt needed to be addressed with this formula is the ability to improve mitochondrial function. And this is important. Remember this image we showed you at the beginning of this video? This is an actual image of your mitochondria. These mitochondria exist and live as structures within your cells. Mitochondria are known in the medical community as the powerhouses of cells. Proper functioning of these structures in your cells is critical to the production of energy. Normal mitochondria are kind of like the engine in your car. They keep your car running at normal speeds, with the ability to accelerate when needed. Just like proper functioning of your engine is critical to your car being able to drive, healthy mitochondria are necessary to keep your body working at normal levels. Normally, you'll fill your car with gas, and the engine uses that gas to generate energy to keep you moving along your way. In the human body, the gas is glucose, and the engine is this mitochondria. In diabetes, it's like the gas tank is full because of the elevated glucose in the blood. The gas is pouring out onto the roads, the choke is wide open, and the engine becomes flooded. In the body, it's the mitochondria that get flooded and damaged so they can't work properly. Because of this, the car moves sluggishly down the road, if at all. When the mitochondria are damaged, the body just moves sluggishly, if at all, because the cells cannot produce energy. Proper functioning of your mitochondria is vital to your energy production and to your health. So, in creating this formula, we needed to make sure we address these three core, often overlooked issues to maximize its effectiveness. You see, most of the other products on the market address the needs of the general public as a whole, but are not specific to the energy issues that people with diabetes face. Dr. Bradley has extensive experience working with people who have diabetes, and their needs are specific and unique. Our product was designed with this in mind. And, based on our review of the market, we have not been able to identify a similar product with evidence-supported dosages that may impact these cellular processes common to people with diabetes. In creating a quality product, besides ensuring that we had the right evidence-based ingredients, another major requirement for us was that our product had to be manufactured in the U.S. and at a manufacturing facility with an NSF and GMP certification. NSF is an accredited, independent third-party certification body that tests and certifies products to verify they meet public health and safety standards. GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Process. This is the other certification our manufacturer had to have. GMP is a system for ensuring that products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards. Unfortunately, a lot of products on the market are produced at facilities that don't meet these standards. When you don't have that level of oversight, a lot of companies will cut corners or use junky ingredients because they can sell these products for less money. But they are also less effective. Being a scientist and a researcher and performing ongoing clinical studies himself, Dr. Bradley stressed that each ingredient had to have been clinically tested on its own merit to address the three core functions he was looking for: fighting inflammation, improving stress response, improving mitochondria function, the powerhouse of the cells. Each ingredient in our product can stand on its own and provide a proven benefit shown in clinical trials. Yet Dr. Bradley has taken 7 clinical research-tested ingredients and combined them into one powerful product to create a dynamic, energetic solution for people suffering with suboptimal energy levels common in diabetes.
There were many things in the trials that excited me. Mostly what excited me was just the prospect that people with diabetes may have an option of using a natural dietary supplement to help offset the consequences of their high blood sugars and hopefully to improve their energy levels and get them feeling better.
Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes around that changes everything. A product that changes lives. A product that is changing the way people manage their suboptimal energy issues common in diabetes. Energy is at the core of what keeps us going, creating, living, loving, being productive, and just feeling good about ourselves. For us and for a lot of people using our product, lives are forever changed. Gone are the days of trying to understand what's causing your suboptimal energy issues and grasping at straws trying to figure out how to resolve it. That's why we are super excited to introduce to you today Diabetes Naturally's newest product. It's called Vitalize. If you've heard our name before, it's because this video has been spreading like wildfire across the diabetes community and into the hands of people who need our help. Our Vitalize product is the first dietary supplement of its kind, with very specific and very targeted evidence-based ingredients to address the core issues commonly associated with suboptimal energy levels in diabetes. Take only 2 capsules a day after breakfast. Then let the science behind the supplement do its work. You'll be amazed once you start feeling energy levels that can keep you up and running without feeling like you're out of gas and without experiencing those unwanted crashes that come with those artificial energy enhancers. With Vitalize, you'll experience deeper concentration and sharper focus that helps you think more clearly throughout the day. You'll also notice that you've improved your ability to work under stress while being more relaxed as the day wears on, yet not tired. Watch as that frustrating feeling of barely making it through the day begins to just melt away. There is not another product on the market that's as laser focused in helping the clients we see every day to regain their energy. Just take 2 capsules of our custom blend and the ingredients go right to work for you, creating a boost to your energy levels. And over time, it'll help repair the inflammation that may be occurring inside your body. I know you might be wondering how to get your hands on our newest Vitalize product. But before I share that with you, please allow me to reveal the powerful ingredients in this powerful product and the science behind how they work to fight common energy issues associated with diabetes or prediabetes. Remember the 3 primary functions that we were addressing with our product? Reducing inflammation, improving mitochondrial function, and helping with stress? Each one of these ingredients I'm about to share has been clinically proven to address at least one of those 3 primary issues, with some of the ingredients addressing at least 2. Each ingredient is evidence-based, meaning its effectiveness has been proven in clinical trials. Remember, Dr. Bradley is a researcher, and not just any researcher. His entire body of work has revolved around helping people with diabetes. So the majority of studies were specific to people with diabetes. Here is why the ingredients in the formula are so powerful and so targeted. To begin with, the first 3 ingredients contain polyphenols. Polyphenols are extremely important for healthy living. Polyphenols are found in plant-derived foods and beverages. There are thousands of types of polyphenols, but they are only found in certain foods or beverages. Studies have shown that polyphenols can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and stroke. Additionally, polyphenols may improve liver health. They have shown to improve blood pressure, HDL cholesterol levels, and may reduce the likelihood of arteriosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. They help to prevent all these diseases by exhibiting anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects, providing additional support for your immune system. Here is where it gets really good, and why polyphenols are so important for people living with diabetes or prediabetes. Dietary polyphenols improve insulin signaling and reduce the negative impact of high levels of sugar in the blood and insulin resistance, which are primary triggers for inflammation and fatigue. Specific foods where polyphenols can be found include teas, fruits, vegetables, nuts, red wine, dark chocolate with high cocoa concentration, olives, bee pollen, spices, and algae. Now, to get the true medicinal benefits of these polyphenols, your diet needs to consist of rather large quantities of foods rich in this compound. Quite frankly, it's very difficult to do, especially with a traditional American diet. It's one of the main reasons why the formula we created works so well. It helps make up for what people are not getting from their diet to achieve the desired energy-improving results shown in the clinical studies. Now, let's reveal what Dr. Bradley included in this powerful formula. The first ingredient is resveratrol. Resveratrol is a polyphenol found in red and purple grapes. In a recent study in 13 men with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, resveratrol significantly reduced the immune messengers IL-6 and TNF-alpha. These are the same messengers that can cause inflammation. This ingredient also demonstrated improvements in mitochondrial function, the energy factory of our cells, and even had clinical trials suggesting they improve blood sugar levels, even though this is not necessarily our primary objective for this product. The second primary ingredient used is green tea extract, GTE. Green tea leaves are rich in a specific type of polyphenol called ECGC. Green tea extract can also reduce TNF-alpha and C-reactive protein. A randomized controlled trial by Bogdansky et al. Was done with 56 overweight people with high blood pressure. In the study, half of the participants were given the green tea and the rest were given a placebo. The study demonstrated that daily supplementation with 379 milligrams of green tea extract for 3 months significantly lowered these immunity messengers compared to those who took the placebo. They also saw improvements in antioxidant status, insulin sensitivity, triglyceride and cholesterol levels, and high blood pressure. The next core ingredient is curcumin, found in the spice turmeric. This adds to this palette of polyphenolic compounds that can reduce the immune messengers in people with type 2 diabetes. A randomized trial including 67 patients with type 2 demonstrated significant reductions of IL-6 and TNF-alpha after taking 150 milligrams of curcumin twice daily for 8 weeks. In a separate clinical trial, 50 people with type 2 took curcumin for 3 months and had subsequent reductions in all 3 of the immune messengers, plus improved metabolic parameters in comparison to the placebo. Vitalize also contains other powerful ingredients with complementary actions to these potent polyphenols. The first is N-acetylcysteine, which is an amino acid that serves as a critical precursor to the important antioxidant glutathione. Glutathione is considered the mother of all antioxidants, primarily because it's located inside the cells. It helps with controlling inflammation. Another important ingredient is coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10. CoQ10 plays a required support function for the production of cellular energy in the mitochondria. CoQ10 is required to metabolize blood sugar properly. Elevated blood sugar places a challenging demand on the mitochondria. Not only does CoQ10 help the mitochondria work better, but clinical research in conditions of high inflammation also demonstrate its ability to reduce IL-6 and TNF-alpha. CoQ10 has also been studied in type 2 diabetes and impaired heart function. These studies suggest it may reduce blood sugar and improve blood flow. Another key ingredient that addresses one of the core issues we're targeting is Rhodiola rosea. Rhodiola is best known as an herbal remedy to help reduce the impact of stress on the body. Because stress elevates blood sugar and can induce inflammation, we've included rhodiola to harmonize the Vitalize formula to influence the 3 main causes of suboptimal energy in diabetes. Vitalize includes a research-supported dose of rhodiola. The final ingredient is alpha-lipoic acid. Alpha-lipoic acid plays another important supportive role for mitochondrial function. In research, it appears it may improve sensitivity to insulin, reduce nerve pain, and improve the metabolism of blood sugar. So, there it is. Vitalize contains 7 powerful ingredients, all with clinical research supporting their potential to reduce the immune activation in diabetes that contributes to low energy levels. We've specifically included ingredients addressing low energy caused by long-term, low-level inflammation, stress, and mitochondrial impairment, the 3 main causes of low energy common in diabetes. These ingredients were handpicked by a world-renowned doctor, educator, and researcher who has dedicated his entire career to helping people with diabetes. It's the powerful combination of these ingredients that will help deliver a substantial energy boost without stimulants while getting to the actual core underlying causes of low energy. Right now, I'd love to invite you to try Diabetes Naturally's newest Vitalize product for yourself. Now, could you find foods that have these ingredients in here? Partially, at least for some of the ingredients. Dietary increases in green tea, use of turmeric in food, and the intake of grapes and red wine, in moderation, can certainly help. The fact is, this is a complex formula. According to the published peer-reviewed science, specific doses of each ingredient is required to achieve the desired results and prove effective. Not only that, but purchasing foods that are high in these ingredients would be very costly. If you were to purchase each one of these ingredients included in our formula individually, and I'm talking about the quality stuff that we're using, not some of the garbage that's out there, it could cost you upwards of $219. Now, we can only produce small batches at a time in order to ensure specific quality standards are being met, while also keeping our costs contained. Therefore, we only have so many bottles available at any given time. On our website, the normal price of our high-quality Diabetes Naturally Vitalized product is only $59.95. Many people gladly pay that amount for the benefits they're getting from this supplement. But today, since we want to get our product into the hands of millions of people who need it, and because you discovered this video online today, we'd like to offer you Diabetes Naturally's Vitalized supplement at a special rate for new customers only. We want as many people as possible to experience renewed energy and a new zest for life through our product. So we've decided to offer a special rate for those of you who've made it this far, as long as supplies last, for only $39.95. That's an instant savings of $20 and 33% off our normal retail price. But remember, this offer is only available for first-time customers only who've seen this special video and while supplies last. When they're gone, they're gone. Sure, we can order more, but we're not sure how long it'll take to be manufactured, and new orders would need to be at normal pricing. We know that the majority of people who take our product want to take it again and again. So we've created some special discount packages for people who know they're ready to make a decision to commit to more vitality and more energy today. We even offer an ironclad money-back guarantee, which we'll discuss shortly. When you make the decision to invest in a 3-bottle package or a 6-bottle package, your cost per bottle decreases significantly because our cost of fulfillment goes down. Plus, you get free shipping when you order today. Don't worry. The quality ingredients and method used by our certified facility ensures quality on your product for up to 2 years. So please, don't hesitate to take advantage of this one-time new customer-only discount we're offering on this revolutionary product. Click on the Next Step button below to see if the 3- and 6-pack discounted packages are still available. Because these multiple packages are so deeply discounted, they do sell out fast. Our automated inventory system will tell us if we're out of stock, and that will be reflected on our website. So if you go to order and the system does not allow you to put the order in, this is why. However, we can put you on a waiting list for when we are restocked, but I'm sorry, it will be at our normal pricing. For as little as $1.08 per day using our extremely targeted solution, you can help start fighting the risk of tissue damage and inflammation caused by chronic elevated blood sugars, while also boosting your energy levels just by using the evidence-based ingredients in our product. Imagine trying to search for and buy the foods you need at the right quantities to get the same results. Not only would that be very time-consuming, but costly too. That's why we've made this very targeted product, so people can get exactly what they need in the exact amount for real energy-boosting results. This doesn't mean you can or should eat whatever you want. We still strongly encourage you to heed the advice provided in this video. At the same time, we know how difficult it is to do everything right. Imagine what it would feel like to wake up every morning with more energy, excited about your day. Imagine being able to get through a day easily, moving around with ease and feeling alive. Imagine what it would feel like to have more energy than you've had since being diagnosed with diabetes. Imagine what it would feel like to reduce the effects of stress on your body and to feel like you could do anything without feeling terrible afterwards. These are the feelings we want you to have. And this is our intention in creating Vitalized by Diabetes Naturally. This is what keeps us motivated each day, to help our clients finally discover what it's like to feel normal again. Just because your doctor hasn't told you these feelings were possible, it doesn't mean the science isn't out there, because it is.
I've spent a lot of years working on understanding the impact different supplements and supplement ingredients have on people with diabetes. In creating the Diabetes Naturally Vitalized product, I took my years of knowledge and research and incorporated it into a product that I truly believe in. If you have diabetes and are struggling with lower energy levels, I would strongly encourage you to give Vitalize by Diabetes Naturally a try.
Dr. Bradley has put everything he's learned into his almost 2-decade career working with diabetes patients. He's taken that knowledge and applied it to this science-based formula. He's taken the best of both worlds, both nature and science, and bottled it up into a powerful formula that works. Now, being a researcher and scientist, he knows that not every product will work for everyone. Even the best products are not 100% effective. However, we're so confident in the energy-producing benefits this product has to offer that we're backing our product with our Diabetes Naturally, no questions asked, 90-day money-back guarantee. Try our Diabetes Naturally Vitalized product for 90 days. If you don't find a noticeable increase in your energy levels, if you don't feel like your brain is working better with more clarity, or that you have more vitality or pep in your step, then we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. That's how confident we are that our product will transform how you feel. We're so confident we'll return every cent you paid us, and you don't even have to send the open bottles back to us. If by some rare chance it comes to this, and you're one of the few people that the product doesn't work for, our wonderful customer support team will ensure that your refund is processed as quickly as possible with no hassles. Our Diabetes Naturally No Questions Asked 90-day money-back guarantee allows you to try our product with absolutely no risk whatsoever. Give it a try today. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Here's what you do next. Click on the Next Step button below this video. It'll take you to our official order page, which is on a completely secure server. The site is encrypted to help guarantee your security. When you're on our order page, this is where you'll see which Diabetes Naturally Vitalized packages are still available. Select the package that's right for you and input your shipping information. Once your order information is complete, your order will be processed within 24 to 48 hours. But please, don't hesitate to lock in your discounted pricing. This will be the only time you see this incredible offer with savings of at least $20 and more discounts available for other packages of this all-natural science-based solution. Take the steps now. Address your energy issues before they get worse. Please, click the Next Step button below and get started right away. Make an investment in your health and your future right now.
The long-term impact of not addressing inflammation caused by elevated blood sugars is that over time, more and more organs will start to reduce their function and begin to shut down. Not addressing inflammation also accelerates the progression of complications of diabetes. The longer someone waits to deal with inflammation or their blood sugars, the more difficult it becomes to get them back to normal levels. Slowly but surely, the cells begin to die down and can no longer repair themselves. I think of this as similar to riding a bicycle on different surfaces. When you ride a bicycle on perfectly flat ground, you can go a really long distance, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to keep going. When you ride a bicycle up a steep hill, similar to as in acute inflammation, it's very, very difficult to get over the rise, but then once you get to the top, it resolves itself and you get to come down the other side. The inflammation in diabetes is slightly different. It's like going up a steadily inclined surface or a steady grade. It's easy at first, but the longer it keeps going, you realize there is something in the background that continues to wear you down. And you don't really get as far as you would as if you were bicycling along a level surface. That's an analogy when you think about what's happening to your cells. Your cells do continue to function for a very long time, but there is this background issue that keeps them from functioning as well as they could and for living as long as they possibly can.
If you prefer to place your order by phone instead of online, call the number posted on this site. Depending on when you call, if you happen to get our voicemail, just leave a message for one of our customer support representatives and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're planning on calling, I would urge you to call right away to take advantage of this special one-time only new customer offer while supplies last, where we offer savings of up to 50% off our retail prices. Again, we'll take away all of the risk for you seeing if this solution is right for you with our no questions asked 90-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy for any reason, we will process a full refund. That's how confident we are that Diabetes Naturally Vitalize will make you feel energetic and alive again. Go ahead, click below and give it a try, and start feeling better today. Still here? Maybe you've got some questions, which is normal. I'll do my best to address some of the common questions or comments that come up. I've seen other energy supplements on the market. How is Diabetes Naturally Vitalize different? The main reason we chose the ingredients and the quantity of each ingredient is because they are all based on published clinical research, and many of the results were specific trials done with people who have type 2 diabetes. When we developed Vitalize, we looked to see what other products were on the market. We found that those products did not address the very specific energy issues people face as a result of diabetes or prediabetes. Most energy supplements are created for the general public and contain ingredients that aren't safe for our clients. Some of them negatively impact blood sugars or blood pressure. Others can poorly interact with medications. Some products promote that they address adrenal gland function. The problem with this approach is that these supplements can keep levels of cortisol elevated longer than normal, which actually increases blood sugars. Pharmaceutical drugs for energy have the potential of severe and significant long-term side effects with serious implications. A common energy medication is Adderall. It has potential long-term side effects for depression, hostility, and paranoia, and they're just not natural. We created something completely safe and natural that addresses the core issue that people with diabetes generally face, without the potential side effects. To see the full list of ingredients, dosages, and supplement facts, just click the Next Step button below for more info. How do I know if your product is working for me? Good question. The best part about this product is that most people will start noticing the difference within the first week. They'll start noticing they're thinking more clearly and that they have a nice sustained energy boost. In some cases, the effects are subtle. You may notice you last a little longer throughout the day or sleep a little better at night. Maybe tasks that were previously a little overwhelming now seem a bit easier to manage. Sometimes, unfortunately, for some people, because some changes can be subtle, you might not believe it's doing anything because you don't notice the day-to-day changes. Little by little, you are changing, but it's tough to notice. It's kind of like a blade of grass. If you were to sit outside every day and watch a blade of grass grow, you'd swear it wasn't doing anything. Then, a few weeks to a month later, you realize you need to cut your entire lawn. Something similar can happen when taking a supplement like this, and ironically for some people, they may not notice the positive changes until they stop taking the supplement. Then they notice their energy levels worsen, and quickly. There's really only one way to find out if our Vitalize product will work for you, and that's to give it a try, completely risk-free. Worst case scenario is that you call us back and let us know within the first 90 days that it didn't work for you, and we'll process your full refund. Click the Get Started button below and begin your energy transformation today. We encourage you give it at least a full 60 days to determine if it's working for you. Even after the 60 days, you'll continue to see improvements, but for some folks, because they have so much inflammation and damage to their cells, it takes them a little longer to get the inflammation under control. Is your product safe? Absolutely. Vitalize contains only 100% all natural and safe ingredients. They've all been clinically tested and proven safe for people with or without diabetes. Check out the ingredients on our supplement panel when you click Next Step below. Our formula is sugar-free, artificial sweetener-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and gluten-free. There's always a very small segment of the population who may be allergic or who can't tolerate certain ingredients and supplements. If you happen to be one of the very small percentage of people this applies to, simply contact our US-based customer service support team for an immediate refund. One added benefit we may not have touched on much is that you may even experience a reduction in your overall blood sugar levels. This is not the intention of this product. However, clinically, some of the ingredients could lower your blood sugar levels. If you notice your blood sugar levels change, please let us know about your observations. If your sugars are getting too high or too low, please stop using immediately and report it to your doctor. We have not had any reports of this happening yet, but we want you to be extra careful to monitor your blood sugar whenever you start any new treatment, whether medication or dietary supplement. How do I take Diabetes Naturally Vitalized supplement? It's really quite easy. Simply take 2 of our easy-to-swallow capsules right after breakfast, and that's it. No mixing or stirring. No mess, no fuss. What if your product doesn't work for me? I believe that everyone living with diabetes or prediabetes and feeling even moderately tired can benefit from the carefully chosen ingredients in this custom formula. As mentioned previously, it's just common knowledge that as humans, we are all different. People can react differently to individual ingredients. It just comes down to that individual's own response. With that being said, because each of these ingredients have been studied and have gone through clinical trials, and several of the ingredients have been tested on people with diabetes, we are extremely confident in the effectiveness of this product. So much so that we've decided to put an unconditional, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If there's any reason at all you're unsatisfied, we will return your investment. Again, Dr. Bradley's and our company reputation is on the line here. We want every single person to have a good experience and get positive results. We cannot promise that 100% of the people will get exactly the energy results they're looking for. No one supplement or drug works 100% of the time. But if the science and painstaking research we've applied to this formula is correct, which we believe it is, most people will notice a difference in how they feel while taking Vitalize. It's really the first time most people with diabetes have been offered any hope to actually feel and function better when it comes to improving their energy levels. So try Vitalize for 3 months. If you don't see truly remarkable results with more energy, the ability to think more clearly, and a better overall day-to-day experience, just email or call us for a refund. That's our guarantee. Go ahead and try it. Click the Next Step button below and try our carefully formulated product risk-free right now. You'll also find more detailed information on our website, diabetesnaturallysupplements.com, about our ingredients, about Dr. Bradley, and about our company. And you'll see everything you need to know about our product. We hope that you got a lot of value from this presentation, and we look forward to helping you vitalize your life in order to live your life more fully. Just click the button below and let us help you start transforming your health and your energy today. Thanks so much from our entire Diabetes Naturally team.